Hello my dear sewing friends. For today, get your fabric scraps out because in this video we have another really quick and easy scrap buster project. This little pouch, or you can also call it a mini wallet, comes together in about 10 minutes and it's a really great project for all those beautiful fabric scraps that you have. I personally really like using cotton for projects like these, so those are the fabric scraps that I'm grabbing. You can also do one color on the inside, one color on the outside, and a third color all around the edges, so you can definitely combine different fabric scraps that you have. Now, to give your mini wallet shape and stability so that way it doesn't flop around and retain its structure, you will also need some sort of interfacing. Now, I have found this bag making and decor interfacing by Pellon. Obviously, in different countries you have different types of interfacings, so the rule of thumb is that you want something that is nice and sturdy. Here's an extra tip. If you're making these mini pouches from cork fabric or perhaps leather or faux leather, then in most cases you don't need interfacing and you also don't need to finish the raw edges because these materials don't fray. First, I like to start by cutting the template for the mini wallet out of the interfacing. You can find the measurements for the template right here on your screen and draft your own, or if you are a member of this channel, then you do have a printable template as a part of your membership. Next, let's find a good fabric scrap. I will give it a good press first, and then I will fuse the interfacing to it. In this particular case and project, the grain line doesn't really matter. Next, of course, let's cut it out. After that, we will also need to cut a one piece for the lining for the inside of the little pouch. This time, we don't have to fuse it to the interfacing. Now, let's place the lining on top of the interfacing, and the first thing that we're going to do is to finish this little edge with a bias tape. This bias tape is 1 1/4 inch wide and about 7 inches long. Let's take our fabric sandwich, place it like this so the lining, the wrong side, is facing up. Take your bias tape, place it like so, and let's head to the sewing machine. Here, with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, we're going to stitch the bias tape along the curve. And as you can see, I'm using my fingers in order to help shape the bias tape, but I'm not stretching it. Also, don't forget to start and end with a back stitch. This is what we're going to have once done. Now, flip it to the right side, grab the bias tape, fold it like so over the original stitching line, covering it, and now let's top stitch. To make it even easier, you can always give your bias tape a little press before this step. And as always, don't forget to start and end with the back stitching. Now, when it comes to the closure, you can opt for whatever you already have at home. So here you see a couple of examples, including a snap and a Velcro. If you're using Velcro just like I am, our next step is to attach one of these little squares right in the middle, about a 1/4 inch underneath the stitching of the bias tape. Let's stitch a little frame inside of this Velcro in order to secure it in place. After Velcro is attached, we will need to fold our little pouch. So grab your template, mark the fold line, and then fold. Then grab another piece of bias tape. The width is the same as previously, 1 1/4 inch, and the length is about 18 inches. I will take my pouch, I will flip it over like so. I will take my bias tape, place it right sides together, a little bit hanging off of the edge. Then I will fold it like so and head to the sewing machine. I'm going to use the same 1/4 inch seam allowance as we did previously, and because we are sewing through many layers of fabric and interfacing, it will be easier if you do increase your stitch length. As you can see, I'm still using my fingers in order to shape the bias tape around the curve. And once you reach the bottom, go ahead, snip off the bias tape and fold it under just like we did at the very beginning. This is what I have once it's done. Make sure that all of the sides are caught in the seam. Now grab the bias tape from the back and pull it to the front. Starting on one of the sides, we're going to fold the bias tape over the original stitching line and press. Now we're going to take this to the sewing machine and top stitch just like we did previously. Once top stitching is done, fold the upper flap down, and the very last step for us to do is to attach another little square of Velcro, and then that's it, your mini wallet is done. Now I must say that at times it might be a little bit tricky to get a nice stitching line on the other side of the bias tape, but I do find that if you stick to a really nice and even seam allowance, and then if you press everything real neat, that usually it does come out looking good. Also, if you just use the same fabric and a really nice matching thread, then it's almost impossible to see that stitching line and you don't really have to worry about it much. Now this little mini wallet can go really well together with another fabric scrap project that we did in one of the previous videos. This is a little zipper pouch that I call a taco pouch. So if you would like to see how to make this one, then click on the video right over here. And I truly hope that these videos bring you a ton of ideas of how to use up your fabric scraps. Until next time, happy, thoughtful sewing. I'll see you soon. Bye!